First time at a pivotal office. Okay, welcome. Yeah, Phil, get out of here. This is, I won't embarrass you, but welcome. My name is Peter, I'm your host. This is Pivotal Labs and Pivotal's headquarters in San Francisco. Has anyone never heard of us before coming here tonight? Okay, yeah, totally. We're in a couple lines of business. We do a lot of developer open source. Do you have any Spring Framework users? This is a trick question. Yes, okay. What about Apache Tomcat? We employ, little known fact, we employ 75% of the lifetime committers, 75% of the lifetime commits of the Tomcat have been made by our employees. We also do RabbitMQ. Anyone ever heard of RabbitMQ? Play with Erlang a little bit? No? Okay. Cloud Foundry is sort of the main thing that keeps the lights on for us. Anyone tried or heard of Cloud Foundry before? Okay, some, cool. If you haven't heard of it, that's the platform that we use to run Spring applications as well as .NET, JavaScript, Node, etc., pretty much any workload. We're also in the consulting business. This office was originally a Pivotal Labs office where they focus very heavily on agile, pair programming, test-driven development, concepts like this, and have a fairly unique approach in extreme programming that we preach here for developing apps on mobile and desktop, etc. And are starting to export that to the back end and how we approach Java, microservices, and other back end technologies in certain places. So I think with that, I want to introduce Bruno and Yara, who are joining us tonight from very far away as they are going on a tour around the world. So with no further ado, welcome to San Francisco JUG, and please, why don't you talk a little bit about yourselves and what we're going to hear about tonight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks very much. So thanks a lot, Peter.
You're welcome.
Okay. So thanks everyone for coming, and thanks for the Silicon Valley Java User Group for receiving us. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Bob, for helping out. Actually, Bob, can I ask you one favor? I'm not sure if you intend to be here the whole time, but we actually have several people, just 20 people online already, watching us here. So if you could monitor the questions online, how about that? Could that work? So especially if you guys are seeing us online, we have never done this broadcast from this camera before. So if you're not hearing us, let us know. Okay. So thanks everyone for coming. Let me ask one thing here. We're talking with a couple of people before we start here, and a lot of people are first time here at Pivotal, but and so you guys came here for a career discussion, right? So that's the whole objective. So let me ask you a little bit about who you guys are, right? So who here already works or intends to work with software development program? Okay, all right. Is anyone intends to work or is working on sysadmin and production kind of things? DevOps, some DevOps people? No DevOps here? Developers in general. Okay, right. Anyone that's not a developer, not DevOps, and is here for some other reason? Marketing, good. That's fine.
But I'm a DevOps on the weekends.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's good. Actually, this here is not holding to my ear very well. So let's see if we can. It's going to be falling off the whole time, I guess. All right. So okay. So let me ask you about what stage you are in your career. So who here is still studying? You're still at university. You might be working, but you're still studying, still at university. Someone? No? Okay. So no one. All right. So who here has somewhere from you're starting? You probably can consider junior, or you have like less than 3 years, 1 to 3 years in your career as a professional. All right. A few people. That's good. So who here has let's see. Okay, so less than 5 years, right? Less than 10 years. Okay, that's good. Well, everyone has more than 10 years, right? Okay, more than 10 years. All right, good. Okay, so here's how this is going to work out, right? The whole idea for us here is to see what's going on in your life and try to help you out, right? this is going to be it's a workshop. You're going to do some exercise here. Some of you are going to have to come up here, right? If you want to, of course. But we're going to do some exercise here to help you in whatever situation you are right now. And one thing that we're going to start with is asking, what is the biggest challenge you're going through right now? Right? You're here discussing a career because there's something going wrong. Something going on in your life. Either I don't know exactly what it is. You're going to tell me, right? And no, right here. Yeah. And because the whole point is for us, we don't want to talk about what we want to talk about. We want to talk about what you want to hear, right? But right before we do this, let me introduce you this amazing lady that's here with me. Yara Sanger is a good friend. She's the owner of Global Code. Is a top Java training company in Brazil. She also runs TDC, the largest community event in Brazil. Has more than 1,000 speakers. Almost 8,000 people on that event. So with you guys, Yara Sanger.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a big honor. I'm passionate about the Java community, but not only Java community, tech community in general. In the end, we are all together in the same project. So thank you for having me here, and special thanks for the user group.
Thank you. Yara is also a Java champion. She's been a Java champion for a long time. She's also a Java 1 Rockstar speaker. I don't know how that's going to work, right? Because now it's changed the name of the company, right? So maybe she should name of the event. So maybe she's an Oracle Code 1 speaker, Rockstar. I don't know.
Just lose my title.
Just lose your title. Okay. All right. So let's go right into. Let me get a pen here. And for you guys who are watching us online, it's the same thing, right? You guys can ask questions. I think Bob's going to monitor things, right?
We're having issues with sound. We're going to try moving the camera back a little bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, that's fine. Oh, the sound. You know what? We can actually increase the sound from here too.
I'm just putting it directly on. I'm also putting it directly under the speaker.
All right. Okay. So let me see here. Maybe we should have. Okay, just give me 1 second here.
I already put you up a little bit on the master board. So
all right.
Let's see if that works.
Okay,
Now you're directly under the speaker.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can increase the volume a little bit here too.
Sure, sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Maybe it's better. I don't know. You guys tell us. Okay. It shows a lot louder for me here. Let's see. Okay. Thanks, Bob. All right. So come on. What's going on? Okay. Go ahead.
Just look at me. They look and say, "Oh, look at all this DBA stuff. Let's get them a DBA gig." And
Java, right? And then
we're hoping.
Oh, you haven't started Java.
Right. That's the whole point.
Right. Okay.
The recruiters push me into DBA gigs.
Right. You have not been able to get Java gigs like that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
I don't even get. I mean, I get them.
Okay. Recruiters pushing me. All right.
Who's next?
Just so I remember, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be so we can go ahead and answer. Come on.
So my question is, I just started my career last year, so my biggest challenge for me is trying to figure out what interests me.
Okay. Searching for a sweet spot. That's a good question. All right. Okay. Cool.
So I had a career break. I got married and moved to USA last year, and since then I'm looking for an opportunity. Because of the gap, maybe the search is going still long, because recruiters see that increases the gap, and I get less calls from the recruiters, so it's difficult.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about recruiters here, right? Let's make.
Well, that's pretty much what the whole thing is nowadays. One more thing to add to it, because of a large amount of studying and skills and things like that on my resume, I end up getting the Java gigs that do come to me are asking me to come in and lead this entire department, teach us all how to do this stuff.
Okay.
But I've been out of this for now years.
And I like the whole thing you talk about, the keyword search, right?
Yeah, it's always there.
Right.
They don't know either word.
Okay.
I can go next. It's very similar to what the gentleman asked. So I work as a software developer, but more on the tool side of the business versus the product side. So the product side tends to have like a stable tech stack, and because a lot of people, and that's what brings in the money. And on the tool side, I've been on the tool side for like 5 years, and on that side it's like building the CI/CD pipeline, or building a mock server for testing purposes, various things, performance testing frameworks, and just a lot of different tools that can help the main line of business run. So there, people don't care about the stack, or not at least to the same extent on the other side. So there's like we tend to get thrown around a lot, even within Java. But when I want to go back into traditional software development, we get asked like, do you have like 3-5 years of Spring experience? Or kind of yes, but technically not, because you're in tools and you get thrown around, you're doing something that gets the thing done versus becoming a full-fledged Spring developer.
Right.
So how to remain relevant, or kind of the same question that the gentleman asked, but how to be relevant and
Right, to remain relevant, right?
A misalignment between skill set and experience.
Okay, so your company chose you to do lots of different things, right? Okay, all right, cool, that's good.
And I'm looking for opportunities here, but I've worked on quite a few technologies for a short period of time, but whenever I apply for jobs, they require something at least, something I've worked on at least for 2 years. So I get few calls, and even if I get calls on clear the initial rounds, they still require me to have further knowledge in a specific technology, but that's what I'm looking for.
So it has a little bit to do with the sweet spots, all the requirements from the job. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Cool. All right. So who else?
All right, thank you. Let me share my story. I have taken many turns during my career.
Yes.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. I have taken many turns during my career. I started as a C# developer, then switched to Java track and worked for a couple of years. Then I switched to test and build automation, and then ended up in Android world. And it's very difficult to build a career when you switch tracks and all your past experience becomes irrelevant. So that's one of my problems, and I'd love to hear an advice on that.
Okay. Okay, so switching lots of tracks that my career relevant, right? Let's talk about this. Okay. I don't think it does. So let's discuss this.
I'll cry later.
No, you'll probably be happy.
I'm a software developer almost 14 years, and my last 8 years I developed in Java. But I have been working in DevOps, and I feel to have a gap in community and companies into Java and DevOps. Sometimes the architect softwares don't understand DevOps, and I try working together DevOps and Java for creating the better software.
More money, that's good. Okay. Promotion. Right? More money, good. Yes. So that's your biggest challenge right now? Getting more money? Yeah? Cool. All right. Who else has the same problem? Getting more money?
I want to get more time.
Getting more time? Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay, more money, more time. That's good.
More free time.
More free time. Yeah?
I'm actually doing the same thing again and again, and it's like so much stuff. So I'm really concerned, like when you go out, people ask you, okay, do you know Spark? This, do you know that?
More technology and less business?
Yeah, it's more on business knowledge which I'm gaining right now rather than the technology. I feel like.
Right.
I think that goes hand in hand with what I was saying before, where the recruiters.
I think that goes hand in hand with what I was saying before, where when you, that outside recruiter, which is usually the first layer, they require.
Years of Java and 10 years of C++, C#,
right.
And be a professional at least 8 years. Right? Like, what?
And it's a junior position.
It's a junior position, yeah.
Right, but that's the kitchen sink that comes in on that first line. I actually heard somebody the other day on YouTube talk about, saying don't do that. What he recommends doing is looking around on DICE and those places to find the company that's hiring, then sliding back in through LinkedIn, finding an internal recruiter for the company, and then trying to send them a direct message to try and kill off that outside layer that is really broken in the industry.
Yeah. Let's talk a lot about the recruiting process. Okay. So
just adding to that, it's like those digital tools can keep going.
I feel like there are like explosion of technology and
explosion of technology. Yes,
missing out on this stuff.
Right. Okay. Explosion of tech. Right. Yes. Cool.
We have an online question. Says, I'm switching careers to being a Java dev. Where can I find projects as a beginner to gain experience? And where can I find mentors who don't charge large amounts of money?
Okay. Gain experience. All right. Okay. And find mentors that don't charge lots of money. Okay. They don't charge money. Good. All right. That's good.
Big brother for program.
Okay. Who else? How about you? You just arrived. What's the biggest challenge you're going through your career right now? No challenge right now?
No, trust.
Trust.
Oh, trust. What do you mean? You want people to trust you?
I mean, building trust is kind of difficult.
Yes. So for people to trust you, right? Or for you to trust other people? Which one do you prefer?
No, it's like you have the skill sets, but then how can you prove or and show trust if you don't go to on-site interview or they didn't give you a chance to directly work with them? Because then how can you gain trust if you don't work?
Okay.
Even if you have the skill set, and even if you spend years and years
studying,
discovering, doing so many stuff by yourself.
Gaining authority, right?
Okay. Oh, and authority, good.
No, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm adding authority just.
Okay, that's good. All right. So let me switch the question a little bit here for other people to jump in. So, especially the guys that have been around for a long time. So what is your big dream for your career? What's the thing?
Professional Java dev. Get back into the...
Oh, become a professional Java developer,
get
okay.
back into the industry.
All right, back into the industry. Who else? Come on, your biggest dream.
Using different languages.
Using different languages?
Using different languages than what's mostly used in the company.
Okay, so why do you want to use different languages?
I think languages are better suited for a job and a task.
Okay, but the thing is, what is your goal? So you're going to learn new.
That is my goal. Yeah.
That's a cool thing. But what do you want to achieve with that? You're going to be known for being a polyglot developer. You want to
providing better software, faster, easier, better maintainable software. Providing better maintainable software.
Writing better maintainable software.
Writing better software. Okay.
I mean,
Right.
I want to add to that. I also feel the same. The thing is freedom to choose what you can use, and so that you will be
Freedom to use. I mean, autonomy in the work to use technologies.
There are a lot of problems which is already solved. I don't want to actually solve it again and again, and I just want to build on top of that. Yeah, because sometimes it's all built already, so you don't have that. If you change stuff, then it has its own cycle of stuff we need to do, test and verify and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right.
Very good.
What else?
You want to add something? No?
No?
Here's a cow.
How about a goal of getting out of tutorial hell? Wait a minute, hold on. If I just learn one more thing, there's one more technology. Oh wait, spring, it's all going to be reactive next year. Shit, before I do anything, I better learn that stuff first. Getting into that cycle of, when am I actually good enough to actually get through that barrier?
All right. Okay. Lots of learning, right?
Very good at wine.
That's right.
Okay, who else?
I would like to work in interesting projects.
Work in interesting projects. Cool. So can I add this? Write better software, work in interesting projects?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Because one thing that's, we have this cycle that we don't, do you get to become a great developer because you work in interesting projects, or do you work in interesting project because you're a great developer in your college then, right? That is a cycle. Both things, it's, something wrong?
It's focused on a member of the audience.
Oh, yeah, do you want to hold this? Oh, yeah. The thing is, when you move the camera back, I think it's not visible. That's why I put it there. Yes. If you hold this, you can just adjust it if you want. Okay. All right. So, but you can't walk very far.
Okay. I will go just behind it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So working on interesting projects, it's a way for you to grow, but it's also when you grow, you get to work on interesting projects. That's a good problem to have. What else? Is that good enough? Oh, there's one more.
I want to start up a successful company.
Oh, you want to start a successful company? Good.
And you can hire us.
Yes.
All the problems solved right now.
Yes.
Are you going to let people to use the language they want?
Whatever they want.
Why don't you start a successful company? Actually, this is a good moment to do this because right across the street and this week is going on TechCrunch, the largest startup events in the world, right? So it's right here.
And they're hiring a lot.
Yes. Okay. What else? Anything else? One last question? There's one here. Okay. Yeah, well, when you get to the end,
I'm actually not a Java developer, but
that's good.
I'm an entrepreneur. He kind of sparked me to kind of speak up, but I'm interested in learning about what kind of projects developers are interested in working in and why they are interested in those projects.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here.
All right. So that's a good thing for all of us to go discuss with him what is that we think that's good. All right. So what is your biggest challenge right now? What is you're what are you trying to do?
I'm originally from Hawaii, and the tech scene out there is very small and not very many developers out there. So my biggest challenge is finding dev talent.
Okay.
And that's the reason I'm here.
Why don't you work in Hawaii? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good problem to have, right? And everyone here would love to talk to you then. Okay.
You have a company?
So I specialize in UI and UX. I'd like to. I'm looking at starting a blockchain at that.
UI, UX, and blockchain.
Yeah.
UI in Hawaii. You can talk with him.
You're getting high.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What else? Is that enough? If you answer all those questions, they're going to be happy. I've helped build Java user groups around the world. I've done a lot of different things, right? Actually not here, but in Brazil, I can actually say that most people that come to my talks, for example, they use software that I wrote. Because I've wrote some of the largest softwares in the country. But all this time, because this is, and actually, for the first time ever, I had the courage to write that story in the book that I just launched. So I've just launched a book in TDC event. Actually, Yari should be here because the camera just got from here, yes. So, in TDC events, totally against me working, right? He said, you need to finish university first, you need to stop, focus on your studies and things like that. And he had a point. My father used to be, he died many years ago, but he used to be, he was an engineer. And to be an engineer, you have to, have the approval to be an engineer. I'm not sure how you call this, right? And so he wanted me to go to this, right? So we had all this discussion back and forth. So, and I joined Sun, and a week later, John Gage made the first demonstration of Java, right? So, my wife is here, right? She's, I couldn't do anything without her because she's the one that was actually doing a lot of things at home with the kids and a lot of other things, so I could spend nights and weekends, doing user groups and doing presentations and going all over the place to help people improve their careers, right? So, I've helped people work from small companies, leave small companies to go work in big companies. I've helped people go from big companies to small companies. I help people build their own companies. I've helped developers get started. I have developed with Bruno and start actually focus on my career. In a few weeks, a few months, my whole career changes. So he's very happy now. He actually works with legacy software, and he's very happy with what he's doing. He's actually growing. He's doing a lot of cool things, and lots of other things like Scala and Python and Java and all those kind of things. So she knows how to talk with people, and she knows how to get people to work together. So she's actually bringing all her experience into this to actually help you guys do the same thing. Okay? Right, so let's get started on all these questions, right? How about this? Okay, so first things first. Let me quickly say you something. Because I'm going to start with this. Rejections, that's the one that we know most, right? Someone talks to you, and they invite you to send a resume. Oh, because you have this great position. You have all this whole thing you're talking about here, right? Have this long list of requirements, and come on, submit your resume. Or you actually see a position online somewhere. There's lots and lots of job boards. And so you get that, and you submit your resume. So she nailed it when she said the problem is trust, right? I don't even know why I put trust here, but trust, right? So you send a resume, and the truth is, the person that's looking at your resume, they don't trust you. They have no idea who you are, right? And the ways people kind of reject your resumes are so arbitrary. You have no idea. I had a friend that he said that he would get especially in the time that resumes were paper, right? Today they're all online, right? But he would get a stack of resume, and he would get the bottom half and throw away because he would not hire unlucky people, right? So the thing is, people have, you have all this bunch of resumes, you don't know anyone, you don't trust any of those guys. What is your job? Your job is reject as many of those as you can, right? And whoever's left, that's the person you hire. So you get in the path of rejection. So the guy looks at you and say, oh, this guy doesn't know C#, throw away. Oh, this guy didn't put Java on his resume, throw away. It doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. Oh yes, you have startups now that kind of track your resume, they do kind of things. Where are you going? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so you get any reason, or you have startups today that kind of try to help this out and help the selection process. All of these, the whole reason is for someone to say, I don't want you, right? And then you pass this process of looking at the resume, then you go to the interview, right? The guy doesn't trust you. So he comes in here and say, okay, write something on the board, and I'm going to see if I'm going to start trusting you. So you come on, you write something on the board and say, oh, I don't trust that guy for some reason, right? Oh, I don't like what he wrote. Oh, he asked good questions, or he didn't have an immediate answer. I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons why people are going to say, oh, you're not fit for us, right? Oh, no, come here, sit down and work with me on the computer. That's the path of rejection, right? That's a normal path. We think that's the only path that exists, right? Now, there's a second path. It's the path of acceptance. On that path, things are different, right? Because on that path, whoever's trying to hire you, they already trust you. They know who you are. You're my friend. You're someone that I've seen your code. You know, you're friends of another guy that works here, right? You have been, you know, you've worked with me in the past, or you worked with this other guy here in the past. We know who you are. Because we know who you are, we want to hire you, right? Because we know who you are. We already trust you, right? So we want to hire you. So on that path, things change, right? Let me tell you one story. You say, oh, they have like a long list of keyword searches. If you don't get the keyword search, you're out, right? So let me ask one thing. No, what's your name? Glasio. So Glasio is a Brazilian. He came here to the U.S. to learn English, right? He spent 5 months in the U.S. to learn English so he can go back to Brazil. Because, you know, of course, if you want to work to a international company, or if you want to work to a large company, English is a requirement, right? So if you have your resume, no English, what happens? Reject, right? That's obvious. You know, there's no way. And that's, you know, I'm just using English as an example. It could be Java, it could be C#, it could be anything. You know, if you're in the path of rejection, if there is one keyword missing from a resume, you're out. But no, I'm not interested. And so the guy said, well, why is he not interested? That's a good job. You know, he's already someone that we trust. Why he's not interested? So the guy pressed it on and said, look, why are you not interested in this job? And then he said, because I don't have English, so I can't work for you. Right? Path of rejection. He's like, oh yes, you don't have English? Of course you can't work for me, right? This particular guy said, Daniel, we trust you. We know your codes, right? We want you to work for us. So I'm going to send you an English teacher every day to your house. And we're going to solve that. Is that okay? Would you work for me in these conditions? Yes, I would. Right? So the path of acceptance is a different path. Really. Companies go overboard. When I was called to work for Sun, you know, my salary was like, oh, we can't pay you this. So I worked with my future boss for 4 months so she could find the money to hire me. So I helped her to get other teams in Sun so she could pull up enough resources to hire me. When someone wants to hire you, you can bring him in. There's no show up on a job board. The very, very best ones, they never show up anywhere. I've been on both sides of a hiring process, right? I'm not going to name names here, but everyone does that. I've been on both sides of the hiring process where I see the company discussing with someone, they get him an offer, he accepts the offer, and then after that, the job shows up in a job board because it's part of the HR process. The first thing you have a position, you put the job. That happened with me. This job, you know, I can talk about Sun all the time because Sun doesn't exist anymore, right? We actually were on Facebook yesterday, and you know, there's the Sun logo on the back of the Facebook sign. You guys seen that? Right? They capped the Sun logo just to remind everyone that they need to keep innovating, otherwise they're going to be in the back on someone else's sign. right? So, sun doesn't exist anymore. We call it a kicking a dead dog, right? So it's Facebook's kicking a dead dog. So I can talk about sun. So I spent 4 months discussing with my future boss that position. It did not exist. So the position was created, and so when the position showed up, man, worldwide, that means community manager. Can you imagine how many people wanted that position? I know friends of mine that send resume for that. Right? And my boss called me, it was all set. She called me and said, Bruno, can you travel tomorrow to Prague? Because we're going to have an all-hands meeting. Can you travel to Prague tomorrow? I said, no, tomorrow no, but I can travel. It was a Thursday. I can travel Saturday. Would Saturday be fine? Yes, Saturday's okay. Come Saturday then. And then she, on the end of the call, she said, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, can you go to the Sun HR website and submit a resume? That happens all the time. So a lot of times, you're through a recruiting process, and you get rejected, and you think, oh man, I got rejected. They didn't like me, or I was overqualified, or this or that. You have all those reasons they gave you. But the truth is, they had already hired another person. Even before they interviewed you. Even before they actually opened up the position. Right? But they have to go through the process. So you want to get the best jobs ever? Right? You don't even need to buy my book anymore, because I'm telling you the big secret, right? You want to get the best job ever? That's what you need. You need to get people's trust before you ever sit down for an interview. Before you ever submit a resume. Before anything ever happens, you have to get the trust. Right?
No. And I think one of the hardest things today for hiring, it's not the technical skills, because most people know that we are able to learn. But here when we talk about trust and about people we know their culture. We know how they work. We know how they work on a meeting. Or we know how they do when they are wrong. Or if they accept or not. Or if they wake up in a bad mood. Or if they are able to travel or not. So what they call today cultural fit. You have a cultural fit with Amazon or with Microsoft or with Oracle, and this doesn't show up on your resume or on LinkedIn. And it's very expensive in the process to understand if you have a match on the cultural fit or not. So to be able to understand that, they need to go sometimes on a year or 6 months, interviewed by 10 people, to understand if you have cultural fit or not. And this is expensive. And hiring someone that doesn't fit on the culture of the company, it's very expensive as well. Because starting on the company, when you do your onboarding process, this is expensive. You might need to travel, you might need to spend time with other people that are already productive, to train you and all that, and then after 6 months they discover there's no fit. So when we do this, when we get an indication from someone inside, they have a smaller chance that you won't have a cultural fit, because that person knows the company and knows you. So this is another thing, right? We can do a better match with people we know, or no, there's no match.
And you know what? Let's say you have a friend you worked with the previous company, and he would slack off, he would not deliver the project, he would leave things in your hands, and he would say, I'm going to show up for the meeting, but I don't, and he would say, I'm going to work on things, but he doesn't do it, right? When you go to another company, do you invite that friend to come work with you? Right? No, you don't, right? So, the true thing is, every time that you suggest your company, someone, is because you know they're good people, right? You trust them. And so the company, because you trust them, remember, trust is not a company thing. Trust is a person-to-person thing. So because you trust that person, your company trusts that person. Right?
They still go to 8 interviews, but...
Yes, they still go to 8. Yes, you know.
But they trust enough to spend their employees' time to discuss with you.
And you know, a lot of times the interview process doesn't change. That's the interesting thing. The interview process a lot of times doesn't change, right? But the whole objective of the interview process changes. I was interviewed by another company. They called me from Brazil. I traveled all the way from Brazil here to the U.S. up north, right? There's a few companies up there, right? So up north, I came all the way from Brazil, and I did a series of interviews, several days of interviews, talked to lots of different people. Everyone I talked to was very nice, and everyone I talked to was the right fit. Everything, blah blah blah. And then I got a message saying, "We're not interested in you anymore." And then I found out, because a friend of mine in Brazil had suggested me to this particular company, right? So, and he's like, "Why didn't I hire you? Come on, man, you're the perfect person for this position." So we went out to find out, and the reason they gave to not hire me was very stupid, right? But the person they hired had already worked with the person that was the owner of the position. So now, that guy, I have no idea who he is, that guy was not competing with me. He was competing with himself. If he had gone to the interviews and someone didn't like him, someone said, "This guy's not good for us," for some reason, he would lose. But it was never a competition. It's not me against him. It was him against himself.
You were competing for the second position.
I was competing for the second position.
If you didn't accept...
Yes, I could be competing for the second position. Exactly. So trust, right? So now, if trust is the most important thing, right? How do we actually get this trust, right? Because that answers a lot of those things here. We're gonna go over everyone the questions here, but I wanna get some big ideas for you guys here. So if trust is the most important thing, how do people trust you? So first of all, there's one question that says here, someone said, searching for the sweet spot. That's a great point. Searching for the sweet spot. You have to have a sweet spot. People need to know what is that you do that's great. People need to know what is that you're looking for. It's very important that you have a sweet spot. We call this a focus. It's important that you have a focus, that you know what is that you want. Right? That's the very, very first thing. Right? So you said, I want to work with Java. That's great. But Java, it's not a focus. Right? One single technology, it's not focus. Your focus is a lot larger than Java and a lot smaller than Java. Right? So let me say, for example, I help professional Java developers to grow in their careers through blogs and presentations so they can work on the best product, the best teams. So my focus is Java. But it's not Java the language. It's not Java, the frameworks. Right? It's a lot less than Java. It's just the Java developer career. But in a way, it's much larger than Java. Right? Because we talk about, hiring. We talk about recruits. We talk about lots of other things that have nothing to do with Java. So first things first, I wanted to show you 2 things about focus. Okay, so I'm going to move this way here. I can take this thing out, right? This moves. So I can use this part right here, right? Okay. I forgot that this moves. Okay, all right. So let me, 2 things that you have to understand about. First of all, your focus, it's a sweet spot, right? Your sweet spot, you have like 3 things that you should think about, right? The things that you like, you love. What are the things that you love to do? Right, that's one thing. Then, there's things you love to do, and there's things that you're good at. Not everything you love to do, you're good at. not everything you're good at you love to do. Right? And then there are things that people are willing to pay you lots of money for. Right? That's one of the questions that make lots of money, right? There are things people are willing to make lots of money for, right? And there's also, not everything that people make you lots of money you good or you love, etc. The important thing of this graph here is the intersections. The things that you're very good at and people are willing to pay lots of money, but you don't love, that's a job. Okay? Things that you're very good at and you love to do it, but people are not willing to pay you lots of money for, that's a hobby. Okay? And the things that you love, people are willing to pay you lots of money for, but you're not very good at, that's a dream. Okay? Alright? Now, this little sweet spot in the middle, things that you love to do, that you're very good at, and you love, and people are willing to pay lots of money for, that's the sweet spot we're looking for. That's a career. That is something you're going to do no matter if they're paying you for it or not. That's something that you're going to do. You're going to do it all the time if you want to. Those are things you're going to do in the weekends. You're going to do it at nights. You're going to do it because you love to do them. Right? Not everyone has a career. Most people have a job. And that's fine. Right? You can actually go home. You can end your job at 5 p.m. and go home, go do something else with your life. That's totally fine. Right? But it's funny, right? So for example, let me tell you one thing. Sometimes, what's a dream? Something we love to do? Oh, actually a hobby. Something we love to do, we're very good at, but we think that people are not willing to pay lots of money for that. So for example, who here likes to build Lego things? Right? Some people actually build Lego things, right? You would never imagine that this is a career, is it? It's a hobby, right? Something I do. It actually costs me a lot of money. No one pays me money for it, right? But you know what? Lego has a very cool platform. Yeah, I love all platforms. Lego has a very cool platform because you can go online and you can suggest. If let's say you're Bob, let's talk blah blah blah. Let's say you're Bob and you like to go home and you build all kinds of cool Lego models, and then you say, Lego should have a model like this. You can go to a platform in Lego and you submit your Lego model. If Lego, and then it gets a vote. People can vote on your model. If your model gets lots of votes, Lego turns into a product, and Lego pays you part of this. That's very cool, isn't it? Now, the important thing is, Lego uses this to create new products, and lots of new products came from this kind of thing. But also, Lego looks at this to hire people. They go look and say, hey, this Bob guy, he's amazing. Look how cool things this Lego job he's doing. We need a full-time Lego builder. Let's talk of Bob. And every single Lego builder that Lego has been hired for the last few years comes directly from their platform. Because those are people they trust. Right? And they hire. So here's how you build a career. If you have a job, so that you do something that you're good at, pay lots of money, but you don't love, you have to go here and find what are the things in your job that you love to do, and go deeper on those. So you can do more of what you love and less of what you don't love. So maybe you love Java, so that's what you need to do, right? You need to work more on Java instead of on databases, for example, right? So you go find what it is that you want to do. If you have a hobby, like a Lego builder, you go find a way to get money out of this hobby. Because you're very good at this thing, right? So go figure out how to make money out of this. You're a musician, for example, right? Or you're a software developer. You work on open source. Oh, I love to work on open source software. Go find someone who's willing to hire you to do the same thing, right? That's what Daniel did. The whole story about Daniel. Daniel he was an open source developer, right? The guy that hired him eventually found out that 75% of the source code from the product they had was done by this one guy that they're not working for them. Right? So they said, man, I need to hire you. I don't care what else you know. I don't care if you know English or not. I don't care. I need to hire you because you're doing 75% of my software. Right? It was one piece of the whole product. It was the cell phone application for a part of the product, and this guy was doing it by himself. Right? So now you trust him, you turn a hobby into a career. Right? Today, Daniel is very, very happy working for this multinational company. Very, very big one, by the way. And if you have a dream, something you love to do, people willing to pay lots of money for, for example, that sort of situation, right? I just 1 year in my career, I have a dream. I love to do it. People are willing to like a lot of money for, but I'm just starting. So yes, go be very good at it. Go become very good at the things that you love. And then that's how you're going to make a lot of money, right? So this is how you do your career. So this is the sweet spot, right? So let's do the next exercise. I want all of you to get pen and paper, because this is, you have it right here, you don't. Pen and paper, a cell phone, whatever, right? You have to write that down. It's important. Seriously, I'm not joking. You have to write that down, because if you don't write that down, it's not going to work. You need pen and paper? I've got pen. You have a cell phone? No? So you got to write that down. Come on. Bob's going to get you pen and paper. Thanks, Bob. Right. Okay. Yes, you need to write that down. It's very, very important. I call this the celebrity statement. Right? The reason why I call this a celebrity statement is because I've seen people go from nothing to huge careers just by writing that little thing. Okay? You ready? Bob's going to, speaking up pen and paper, but I'm going to start anyway. Okay, Bob? Oh, he can't hear it. This microphone's so good because you walk over there, you don't hear anything anymore. Okay, so here's very simple. Very, very simple. And then Yada's going to teach you how to use this in the networking, right? Okay, very simple. It's a phrase that says, I help people to do this so they can have or they can become that. They can have or become that. Okay, pen and paper. Last chance. Here. Okay? I help people to do this so they can have or become that. Write that down. Okay? I'm gonna give you my side statement so you understand. So I, Bruno, I help professional Java developers to improve their careers through blogs and actually to share what they know through blogs and presentations so they can become amazing developers and can work with the best projects and best teams. Okay? Got this? So now the second part of the exercise. So you're gonna say, very simple, you're gonna say people, those are placeholders, right? So you're going to say people equals this, that equals, yes, the order is reversed, okay? People equals, that equals, and this equals. Done that? So now on people, you're going to put who are the people you want to be your friends? Who are the people you want to be your customers? Who are the people you want to work with? Who are the people that you want to be near of? I always say people that you want to be your friends, because honestly, you want to work with your friends. You want to work with your friends. You want to meet your friends. That's what we want, right? If you could work for friends the rest of your life, that's good. That's going to be great, right? So I help professional job developers because those are my friends. You know, every couple of weeks there's a barbecue in my house with lots of job developers. You know, I travel with Yara, for example. You know, she's a job developer. You know, so we become friends, right? You know, so who are the people that you want to be friends with? Who are the people you want to be close to? You know, job developers, or, you know, and that's people. It's not companies, it's people, right? Job developers. Oh, by the way, you're an entrepreneur. This is amazing to do. It's an amazing way to do a pitch, right? It's an amazing way to do a pitch. Because, by the way, let me tell you one thing. If you want to work on the best projects, you gotta be your own one-person startup. Your career is your product, man. You know, that's the thing you're gonna be building your whole life. It's not your company. You know, you gotta be the best way is for you to aspire to be a freelancer. But if you don't want to, even if you're not a freelancer, if you're working for some company, you should do this. Okay, people is the person that you like. Has anyone put people? Anyone chosen some people? Come on.
What's the question? What is the question?
What is the question? Have anyone written down which people you want to be your friends? That's what you have to write that down. People, write down. What are the people you want to be your friends? Job developers, Java EE developers, Spring developers, you know, recruiters. Yeah, you can be friends with recruiters if you want, right? Recruiters, you know, DBAs, DevOps guys. What are the people you want to be your friends, right? You want to work with those guys, right? Have you chosen one? It could be, you know, owners of startups. It could be, you know, CIOs, CTOs. You know, you decide, man. Those are the people that you want to be close to. Anyone has just chosen one? Just so I can have one example.
Java developers.
Java
developers.
Java developers. Okay, so Java developers.
That's my friends are.
That's all your friends are. Okay, so Java developers, right? So the second question I'm going to ask you. First things first, we want to be as precise and specific as possible, right? So Java developers might be just too broad. Right? Because there's so many types of Java developers. Right? So Java developers working on desktop, for example, or maybe Java developers working on healthcare, or you know, it's better that you decide a little bit better. But let's go with Java developers. So now that you have Java developers, what is the thing? So this is not about you. So what's your name?
Steve.
Steve, this is not about you, okay? But can I tell you something?
It's all about me.
It's not about you. No, it's not about you. It's your statement. It's not about you. Can I say something that hurts?
Always.
No one cares about you, Steve.
No, I don't.
Right. No one cares about you, Steve. No one cares about Yara. No one cares about me. Right. People don't care about us. People care how you, Steve, can help them achieve what they want. Okay? So people care, and that's how you choose it. That's how you hire people. Because you are able to solve a problem that the company have. That's how you get hired. Right? Because now they know you are able to solve the problem they have. If they don't trust that you're able to solve that problem, they're going to give you a hard time for you to get there. Okay? And by the way, if there's anyone watching online that want to say a phrase, go ahead and it can give you a phrase too. All right, so what do Java developers want, Steve? You have lots of them here. What do they want? Projects. Okay, so they want a project. Just any kind of project?
No, usually projects that are interesting.
Interesting project, right? Interesting projects. Fun projects, right? Okay. Fun projects. Right? Okay, that's very good. So now, that's on your phrase. It's not about you. It's about what they want. Okay? Now this is about you, Steve. So what's the thing that you want to do, Steve? What's the thing that you love to do? What's all the things that you do, all the job development that you do, what's the thing that really excites you? What is the thing that you really want to do for the rest of your life? Well, it doesn't need to be the rest of your life, but you know, at least for a reasonable amount of time from now on.
Learning more skills, being able to apply them.
Learning more skills.
Being able to apply it.
Cool. All right, that's a good thing. Okay. Learning more skills. Okay? So now, let's get, I'm just using Steve as an example here, right? But I want you to do yours. You're not supposed to do this. This is Steve's, right? I want you to do yours, right? So now, Steve, can you put these things in a phrase and say the phrase for us?
I help.
I, Steve.
Steve, help Java developers to do interesting projects.
No. That is here.
Oh, sorry. I, Steve, help Java developers learn new skills so they can do interesting projects, possibly?
That's good. That's good. If Steve had a blog that helps Java developers to learn new skills so they can work on a great project, who wants to read Steve's blog? Yeah? Everyone wants to read Steve's blog. Okay? So now, notice that what Steve's doing here, so now you have a focus. I'm not saying that this is your focus, but I'm just going to add an exercise here, right? But now, if Steve goes deep into improving skills for Java developers, not any skills, right? You know, so Steve can figure out how to improve, writing Java code, or how to improve reading Java code, or how to improve solving problems with Java, or how to improve, Java EE code, or Java or Spring code, or, Java FX code, whatever. You can even go more specific if you want, right? What other skills Java developers need to become great developers? Well, let me tell you one thing, Steve. One great when they're starting, right? Can you remind me what the 5 things are?
And they want they're the what? Sorry.
When you say that when people are juniors,
Okay.
there's like 5 web development. There's five things that you always say that people need to learn to be good developers. Can you tell me what they are?
5 things they need to learn?
Yes, you always say, right? Yes, you say web development. What else?
They need to learn a little bit of database.
Okay, she answered exactly, right? You see? Databases, right? Great skill for Java developers, right?
Every Java developer needs to learn a little bit, right? Needs to know how to do it.
So now, Steve, you're one of the things that you can help them with is something that you have experience with because you are, you've been working with DBA, right? So now you can get these things, right? Can you tell the other ones? Or just so everyone's going to be curious about them.
Every developer needs to know the basic for database, the basic for HTML, CSS, and web development. It needs to be good on one language at least. Needs to know a little bit of infrastructure. Needs to put their thing in production, and needs to test. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Yada. So you see, the first thing she said is databases, right? So if you can help them enjoy databases, for example, or learn better database, or be great at database, you are actually using the things that you know of, and you can write, and you can start with that. You can focus on learning different skills, but you can start with the database skills because that's the one you have, right? And so if you do this kind of things, that's the magic of the celebrity statement. The magic of the celebrity statement is, first of all, it helps you define what is the one thing that you want to focus on. And notice, this one thing is not Java. It's not, databases. It's not Spring. It's not any of those things, right? It's actually much more than that, and much less than that, right? Because learning skills is much more than Java. It's much less than Java. You're not going to teach them. You might teach them to read Java. You're not going to teach them, the details of Java language. I don't know. You're going to decide what's important, what's not, right? But it gives you clarity on what is the thing that you want to go deep at, because this is you. You want to be as deep as possible on that thing. You want to be the best. Really. You want to be the best guy that teaches learning skills to Java developers. Because if you're the best guy, everyone is going to want to go work for you. And so another myth on our industry. When I say you want to be the best guy, people say, oh, I can't be the best guy. There are other people that are better than me. Right? Well, but are they best? Are they better than you in helping professional Java developers or Java developers just out of school or whatever it is that you chose here to learn skills and to get interesting projects? Well, they might be better in teaching them skills to get the next job, to get the first job, but you are more than that. You are focused on fun projects. So, I mean, you are setting up. I heard this today at the event, right? I was talking with a guy, he said, the best way for you to succeed as a startup is not to get into a market, but it's for you to define a new market. That's what you're doing here. You're not competing with anyone else. You're defining, your own product in a way that you're unique on this. So you can go very, very deep on this. The deeper you go, the more trust you have. Okay? That's the first magic of the seven statements. The second magic of the seven statements is that it's focused not on what you want, on what they want. Because you can get anything you want in life if you help enough people help them achieve what they want in life. So now, you're not focused on what you want. It's not, oh, I'm a DBA, I'm a Java developer, it's me. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about them.
And you are building authority, right? So you are gaining authority on a certain topic. So people know you for that. And when they have a position, when they think about you as a reference for something. So
yeah, I get lots of people jobs.
Is what?
Yeah, I get lots of other people jobs.
Okay, yeah, right? Okay, so, and the third thing that this phrase puts you at, that's amazing. You don't even need to add to it, right? There's another one. The other thing that it helps you is that it defines your audience. Let me tell you one thing. Today, with the internet, we are all publishers. Who here has a Twitter account? Who here has a GitHub account? Who here has a Facebook account? Who here has a blog? Right? If you have any of those things, man, you are a publisher. You're a publisher in what every publisher needs. An audience. So you're defining your audience right here. So you're not talking about becoming, working on fun projects for anyone. You're talking about working for fun projects for Java developers, or for professional Java developers, or for junior developers, or for whatever it is that you decide as an audience. And when you define an audience, people want to come close to you because now they know you are the guy that is going to talk to them. Right? And the fourth thing that this phrase makes, you don't even need to make it anymore because it's part of the phrase. It starts with I help. It makes the whole thing about you helping others. And because you help others, people are interested in you. Because people are interested in you because you help them get whatever they want. Everyone wants to have or become something. Make sense? Does anyone want to show the phrase they did so we can comment on it? And by the way, this, just kind of getting her here because she's I'm just speaking on you, just because you mentioned you're one of the junior people here, right? This works, even if you're in college, even if you have no experience, right? Because you can help other people achieve where you are right now. So you can help, if you're in college, you can help high school students to get where you are, right? If you're in your first job, you can help college kids to get their first job. See? All you need to do is be one step ahead of your audience, and you are very, very much valuable for them. Okay? All right, so Who has a phrase that we can pick up? Go ahead. You say, I, your name, help.
Thank you. I, Rohit, help developers and non-developers, not even developers, to simplify their software development process so that they can have better and productive lives.
Okay, so I like the better, so I bet I like the productive lives. That's good, right? Every time you say better, better in which way? What's better? Right? So give a detail, right? So they can have faster turnaround, whatever. Just what is better? What's a better life? It's more money, it's more time, it's more, it's time with their family. What's a better life, right? So be specific, be concrete. Better, it's not concrete, okay? Right. Now, the other thing is, it's all about being concrete. You help developers and non-developers. Yes. That means you help everyone. Everyone is either developer or non-developer, right? So you help everyone. So my question is, do you know any company that sells product for everyone? Yes, tell me one company that sells product for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. Unilever. Who else?
Microsoft.
Well, yeah, Microsoft, right. Okay, Unilever, Microsoft, right? They sell, or Coca-Cola, right? So do you have the budget for Unilever or Microsoft? Your market budget for them? No? So you can't sell for everyone. Okay? Selling for everyone is very hard. Because where do you meet developers and non-developers? Anywhere, right? So you can't actually go where they are. So you have to be more specific.
Yeah, probably I wasn't specific about what I want them to do. Like everyone wants to build something, and non-developers are pretty much, if they want to build something, they have to go through this barrier of learning the software development process, learning a programming language. What if they can just bring in the Lego pieces together and build something, right?
Right.
So there was this company called Intentional Software, and they wanted to understand the intention of a developer and then generate code. So it's pretty interesting. So it's in the realm of domain-specific languages. So
yeah.
So maybe a DSL for a non-developer to build software.
Right. So you have to be specific, right? It's not developers. Even developers should general. Non-developers way more general, right? So you have to be more specific, right? So you can say I help marketing managers of large corporations, or I help product managers. Well, I help entrepreneurs that that want to start their first company, or you have to be more specific with that people. Even developers too broad, because developers are so many different kinds of developers. Okay, so be more specific. All right? Anyone else wants to experiment? We don't have a lot of time, right? So let's just one more. One more. Come on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll try it. So on the UI side.
Okay, wait.
Travis Ito, help startups design intuitive and user-friendly interfaces so that they can easily attract and retain users and or customers.
Okay, that's good. Attract and maintain customers. It's great, right? Every startup wants to help this. Okay, build a intuitive interface. That's a good thing too. The one thing is, I help startups. You can't help companies. Companies don't do anything. Companies don't exist, right? You can help people. So who inside the company do you help?
Product managers.
Is a product manager? Okay, so I help product managers of startups, for example. Product manager of small companies, product manager of mobile companies. You decide what kind of thing you want. Make sense? All right. So now with this, okay, we're going to start answering the question. You choose the question you want to answer. But with this, let me just kind of quickly go over some things here, right? So when you say, Java, DBA, Java, the recruiters, right? Every time recruiters call you, they need you to know this, right? If they know this, if you have a blog post, if you have a Twitter account, if you're on your LinkedIn, If you're on LinkedIn, you have your statement on your LinkedIn. Recruiters will know exactly what it is that you want. They'll know what is that you're good at, right? And if more than that, if besides the statement, you have articles about the thing that you want, right? You know, it doesn't need to be a lot of articles. Just a few makes a huge difference, because now they know who you are. And so they're not going to be pushing you on DBA, right? Or maybe they will, because that's what you're saying that they want, right? So you got to be clear. That's the same thing when you say here, for example, oh, you know, I'm overqualified, right? Because of course, when you are in the path of rejection, what is it you do? You try to show as much good things that you have. But if you have a statement from everything you did in your life, what is the thing that matters here? Right? Is it your DBA work? Is it your Java work? Is it everything? What is it actually that matters? Is the certification that you made? Or what matters is all these skills that you learn. So you're going to focus on those. Make sense?
Yes. You touched a point here, and I would like to talk about gaining experience. You mentioned about gaining experience, no experience. I can't remember who mentioned this. So I believe it's very hard for a student to get out of the market, and then you have no experience. They want you to have experience, or even if you are changing paths, you want to have experience. So how do I overcome this barrier if they don't allow me to get experience by working, right? So I really believe that here on the experience, why they want you to have experience? They want to trust you know something. Again, we're talking about trust. So I think there are several paths, and not everyone agrees on these paths, but I believe certification is one of those paths. Sometimes it helps you to believe you know, and it helps recruiter as well to understand that maybe they cannot say you know, but at least you went through a process, you studied to go there, and you might not have experience, but you have discipline and you went through this certification. So, if you are willing to work with Spring, what are the possible certifications for that? I'm sure some companies are looking for that. So if you are on a same position competing with someone that doesn't have the certification, this might help. But more important, it helps you to get confidence that you are able to do that. And if you don't believe certifications guarantees that you have the knowledge, you can do a project while you're studying for that certification. What kind of project could you do? You could do open source, of course, but open source, in several projects, we have the same problem. They want you to have experience. So you can come to open source through the borders, right? You can come by reading and writing documentation. You can come by helping people to do things that they don't want to do, and you might be able to do at that moment. You can also write your own project. So maybe there is a non-governmental organization near your house, and they are looking for a website. You can use the coolest technology in the world to do that very simple website. So I remember several cases where, me and my husband, we were thinking about use case for a certain technology, and he would do turning on a light. Sometimes it would be a very complex turn on a light, and it would go, to this and to that, and then it goes to Amazon and all that. And why are you using all that technology? Because I want, right? It's your own project. You can do your smart door that uses all the technology in the world. It's your door, right? So this gaining experience, if you are not working, or if you are and you have your weekends, you can gain experience by using your time and your own problems to solve, or your community problems to solve. But then, it doesn't help just gain experience. You need to show to the world that you have experience, right? And then we come back to trust. So how you prove you have this experience? You need to write about it. You need to do a video about that. You need to go to the meetup and show how you do your smart door at your home with all the coolest technologies in the world. So gain experience by working on a certification path, and some platforms are very rich on certification paths. So some are very popular, and or writing your own project or solving a problem of a non-profitable organization. So that would be what I would say on gaining experience when you have time for that.
And how does this match to the statement, right? Because you're going to use all the technology you want to teach people how to learn faster, for example, in your case, right? You know, you're going to do all these. It's not going to be, you know, Yada talked about Vinicius and his experience. So he got, actually Vinicius won a Duke's Choice Award for turning lamps on, right? Because he built a whole system of home automation called J-Home out of this idea that I should turn lights on, right? So now, to have a focus, you can create things around it. And so you can be known for the guy that worked on an open source project about learning. You're working on a software that helped an organization doing better learning, whatever.
I help people to turn on their lights.
Yeah, I help people turn on their lights. Yeah, well, so they don't get in the dark. They don't be in the dark, right? All right. So gain experience. And by the way, the last thing that Yada says, you have to show. Right? That's why it's so important here. You have to show it. If you have an audience, you have to show it to people. That's when it makes it. That's when people start trusting you. Totally right. Okay, so come back here. So switching tracks in my career makes my career relevant. No, it doesn't. It actually makes it more important if you have a focus. If you have a focus, everything that you did in your life makes sense because it all tied into your focus. Right? What makes your career relevant is when you can't connect the dots yourself. So if you can't connect the dots yourself in your career, why should I connect the dots for you? I'm trying to hire you. I'm trying to get you to solve my problem. Why do I need to start solving your problem by connecting your dots? You go and you look back at your career. Think how things work together in a way that it makes sense. Because it does. Your message is in your story. Everything you did in your life counts. Right? You know, you played soccer when you were kids. It counts because now you're a good team player. Right? And then you went on and you did, well, come on. We all know Steve Jobs, right? You know, he went to India and he learned how to paint in different fonts. And that made him a great graphic guy and think about design. Right? Everything you did in your life counts. If you make it count. Right? So just so you guys know, I think we're supposed to end at 8. And we said we could go over, so we should go at 8:20, 30. Right? So if anyone needs to leave, at least you have all the questions asked already. So, and if you need to leave, all the answers are going to be in the recording. Okay? So everything in your life counts, man. Absolutely everything in your life counts. So if you want to make your life, so you have to connect the dots. Make sense? Okay?
Can I choose one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, recruiters first wall to get smashed at. So if you are sending your resume and it's not working, so you need to change your resume. One thing, one resume doesn't fit all. Each company has its own goals. So several times you cannot just have one resume that you send to every company. You need to adapt your resume for that company, for that specific position need. So if you are going to this position and they are looking for these qualifications, you need to adapt that, or at least your proposition value, to show that you match that. So it's very hard to have one resume for all things. Of course, it's more effort you will put on it, But if you want your resume to get a better position, you will need to put effort on that if you really want. So it's impossible to have one sent to everyone and that's it. You need to adapt that resume for that position. And so I think this is one thing. And the second thing, you need to know what's the culture of that organization to make sure, you know, you are making these adaptations on your resume, thinking about that. And if you overcome the recruiters and you go to an interview, please read about that company, read about that culture. They will be interviewing you, and more than technical, they will see if you match their culture. So read about it.
Okay, just one quick thing before, I forgot to say this before everyone left, but you know, you guys are here, so let me put here, if you go to code4.life, oh, by the way, I have some stickers, I can give you guys some stickers. If you go to code4.life, you can go right now, instead of writing it down, you can go right now, and you put your email there, you're going to get an email from me. So you have my contacts to do this, right? But one thing I want to offer you guys is, you know, if we are discussing lots of different things here, but maybe, especially, you know, if I'm going to talk to the guys that are very young, right? So the people that are very young, I have a specific advice for you right now. But for the people that have more than 3 to 5 years of experience, right? There may be something that you're stuck at that you don't know what it is, and it's very hard for us to solve at the moment. So if you have several years of experience and you're stuck, I'm going to offer you, if you come to code4life/career, right? I'm going to offer you a conversation with me, right? So you go there, you fill out a form, and then you're going to get to my schedule, to my agenda. So when I travel, I do this. I open up my agenda to have some conversations. It's a 45-minute conversation where I'm going to do 3 things with you, right? I'm going to help you have clarity on your dreams, on what is it you really want to do. I'm going to eliminate the biggest challenge that prevents you from growing. And together we're going to make a plan and a path for you to achieve what you want. Okay? Right? Thank you.
That's pretty great.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So sorry that I should have said a little bit before, but anyway. So you guys have stayed. You get a special gift, right? So it's a 45-minute conversation. You go ahead and you do this, and then we talk, and then we're gonna go over your specific problem that you have, right? And by the way, it's completely free, no strings attached, totally fine, right? Okay. All right. So yeah, so we're gonna so my suggestion to you is do this right now, or if you want, when we finish here, come with me and we schedule a meeting in my calendar, for example. But make sure that you do it, because otherwise when you go home, you're gonna forget and you're gonna miss this opportunity. Okay, recruiters, right? All right. Okay. So what else? Let me quickly go over here. What are the things that once you have this level statement, what are those things that they're solving, right? So when you start a successful company has to have a focus, right? So if you know how to write your level statement, that's a big step for you to building your successful company. Gap, right? Because you have a gap, you have less calls. Well, the thing is, because people don't know what's this gap about. What happened in your life? Man, you became a wife. Right? So now it's better. Because now you are a developer that got married. What does that mean? How can you help other people do the same? How can how can you help other women or other men or whatever? Right? So you can turn those gaps into success. Right? Because you're a DBA guy. Right? You can turn this to your advantage. You should not be worried about looking for jobs that will value those gaps. Right? Yes, because there are jobs that need a Java developer that knows a lot about databases. Actually, let me tell you one thing. What is one of the biggest rage of the moment? Big data. You are a data guy, right? Figure out how to do this. Figure out how to put your DBA expertise into that place, right? So once you've you're the only person that can figure that out.
Despite all the NoSQL databases being out there, the single most widely deployed database technology is still the relational database.
Right.
You
So-
use Flash, you know, it's like, there's a lot of market out there.
You know, don't be afraid of using your gaps to your advantage. Right? And if that's not clear yet, let's talk a little bit more. Okay? So yeah, let me just kind of go through. So keyword searches, lots of requirements. Man, if those people trust you because they know what you do, they're not looking for keyword search anymore. I guarantee you that the recruiters, actually, you're not even going to deal with a lot of recruiters anymore because they know who you are, they know what you want, right? So this is very, very important.
But anyway, the keyword search indicates what the market needs. So, you know,
Yes.
market needs microservices, market needs big data, market needs, machine learning. So, if you see this keyword search and you are not matching them, maybe, you can walk through that direction if you want to, but it might help.
Right. You know, those important keywords can turn into DAX. Right? I help Java developers to learn the skills so they can apply for big data projects. They can apply for microservices projects.
I
So
help
those things,
DBAs to go and learn NoSQL.
or I help DBAs to learn Java. That's another good one, right? So all of those things are good things that you can use to put yourself separate from the market and make your story valid. Okay? All right. Remain relevant. Man, everything you do in your life can keep relevance. Absolutely everything you do in your life can keep relevant. So go find the things that, but my company forcing me to do things that I don't want, or I had to learn things that I don't want to learn, or I'm just gonna they throw so many things at me that I'm not good at anything. So make that thing important. Who needs someone that knows a little bit of everything? What are the jobs? There's lots of jobs that need someone that knows a lot of things. For example, a startup. A startup doesn't need the best job developer in the world. It needs someone that knows a lot of things and a lot of different things. So go make yourself useful for them.
Full stack developer.
Full stack developer, right? Call yourself a full stack developer now, right? That's exactly. You use those things to your advantage, man. Right?
Enterprise architect.
Enterprise architect, right? Well, just be careful.
Since you said full stack developer, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. So what else? Then we make. Okay, I'm just kind of going through the things that this other statement would solve. Promotion, important thing. Explosion of technology. Come on, guys. We don't need to learn everything that shows up. We don't. Right? If you are very good in a subset of those things, right? You are needed for that. People think that they need to learn everything that you don't. You need to be very good in a few things. And that will make all the difference. Right? You don't need to learn Spring and Java EE. Right? Choose one, be very good at that. Choose Spring, right? Be very good at Spring, and that's enough. Right? Explosion of tech. Okay. There's one very important thing that you guys need to learn. Really. For the explosion of tech, there's one very important thing you guys need to learn. How many of you here have heard or know what it is, the orders of ignorance?
5 orders.
5 orders of ignorance. You never heard of that? Okay, so this is important. As a developer, okay, let me tell you one thing. As a developer, the most important thing that you need to understand is how your brain works. Right? So if you don't understand how your brain works, you're toasted. It's like a soccer player that doesn't know how muscles work, right? You're gonna break yourself. Okay? So you need to understand how your brain works. So the 5 orders of ignorance has a lot to do with this. So that's this explosion of tech is very important for this. 5 orders of ignorance. So order number 0 is I know something. So I, Bruno, I know Java. That's order 0. Order of ignorance 1. I'm going to go very fast. You can look up this later, right? Order of ignorance 1. is I don't know something. So I, Bruno, I don't know Kotlin. I can't learn Kotlin because once I learn Kotlin, I can't use this example anymore, right? But, you know, so I, Bruno, I don't know Kotlin. I know what Kotlin is, right? I know what it is, so I know I don't know it. So that's order of universe 1. That's where most people stop. They forget the rest, right? Order of universe 2. I don't even know what the thing is. I don't know it exists. So let's say, you know, there is a language called Yara that I never heard of, right? So I have no idea what that thing is. I never heard of it. So if I never heard of it, I can't understand that I don't know it, so I can learn it, right? So that's order of universe 2. Order of universe 3 is I don't have a process to tell me that I don't know something. Right? So you know, if I don't have a process that tells me I don't know, so for example, if I come to a user group, and in one of the user group meetings there's someone saying, oh, we're going to talk about Kotlin. I don't even need to come here. But someone at Java user group said, oh, I'm going to teach Kotlin. So now I know, what is Kotlin? Something I don't know. So let me look what it is. Oh, Kotlin is a language. Okay, so now I know that I don't know. So I have a process. By being part of a user group, you guys are part of a user group. By being part of a user group, I have a process to learn things that I don't know. So that's why user groups are so amazingly important. So I want a round of applause to those guys right there. Seriously, the reason why user groups are so important is user groups is order of universe 3. You guys have a process to learn about things you don't know. Right? Order of universe 4, that's the last one, is meta ignorance. I don't know about the orders of ignorance. So now you do. So you don't have that anymore. Okay? So what is important? The explosion of technology. You think you need to be order of ignorance 0 on everything. That's not true. What you need is a process that's going to tell you that you should learn something so you can actually go and learn it and then it can become 0. Make sense?
Twitter.
Twitter.
That's what Twitter's for.
It's a good thing. Twitter, blogs, you know, RSS feeds, user groups, magazines, whatever. You have to know a little bit what's going on so you know what it is you need to learn to actually do that. Make sense? Okay, so that's what you need to do. Let me say what else. Find trust. We talk a lot about this, right? Trust and authority is all about the self statement. Once you define this, it's a lot easier for you to get trust, right? Okay, work on an interesting project. We're going to talk more about this. Autonomy. Freedom to use cool technology. I think Yara said this, right? Now hey, come on. Decide your phrase. And go do cool technology on those things. Go work on things that are fun for you. Go work on things that you love, you're good, and makes people make lots of money.
Here's 2 things. This and culture fit. Again, what's the company you are willing to work on? So here, if you want to use cool technology and have freedom, what are the companies you are looking for? Maybe if you are working to a consulting company that just work for banks, maybe you will not have this freedom. So culture fit and open source your own projects. But I would say culture fit here, it's a good advice as well.
So every time you want to have freedom, that's one important thing you have to understand. I think there's another thing that makes the same thing. Every time you want to use cool technology, my company throws lots of things at me. They don't value me, or you know, I can't choose my own technology. One thing you have to learn, and this is about business, for example, you have to understand you can't just be technology. You have to understand why that technology is important for the business. If you don't understand why the technology is important for the business, that thing is not interesting for the company. Oh, my company doesn't let me do testing. Oh, my company doesn't let me do DevOps. My company is backwards. Yes, because your company doesn't understand the reason, the value for the business of testing, of DevOps, of big data, whatever. Who is the person that can teach your company the value of a technology? Do you think it's the CEO of the company? Do you think it's the sales guy of the company? No, it's you, the technical guy that understands technology. But the problem that we have is that we think only about the technology we forget about the business. We think we're not supposed to understand the business. So if you're not supposed to understand the business, you can't teach your company why that technology is important for the business. And if you can't teach your company why the technology is important for the business, then you're not going to work on interesting projects. Because they're never going to adopt the technology because they don't understand the value for the business. Make sense?
And probably we come back to this, right?
Yes.
When we think about promotion and getting more money, we will just get this when we add more value for the business of the company. So here, I read I listened to an interesting talk some days ago, talking about why testers are getting more and more money. If we see the average salary, we see that the tester is getting more money now than some years ago. One reason is because they are getting more near the business. So with smarter tests, the tester needs to know more about the business, so they are getting more near the people, the managers and the directors and the CIOs and all of that. So as more as you understand the business and you can bring value to your day job, you get better chances.
And the market demand for people doing test-driven.
Yeah, it has a microphone there.
The marketing demand for people doing test-driven development is increasing.
Sure.
Right. So to increase, supply, right, you got to raise the salaries.
Yes, but I mean, before you had just very simple tests, and now the testing is getting more complex because
now you have a network call in between everything because you're writing a microservice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the average knowledge a tester must have today, it's bigger than before, right? So they are getting near, and the managers and all these people understand the importance of that task, right? Because it affects business directly.
Yeah,
if I can make one quick comment just about how open source has transformed a lot of hiring and career trajectory path. When I hang out with the guys and the girls in the Spring team and here at Cloud Foundry, sometimes they're accepting resumes, right? But you want to get on a team like the Spring team, they're not accepting resumes. And those are senior people, right? Those are leaders in their field. They'll find you.
Right.
All you got to do is pick what it is that you like doing, start doing it in open source. Imagine if you started closing doc bugs on the Express.js framework right now, which is suffering for committers, but it's really popular, like really popular. But there's like 5 people committing on it, 3 of them are on vacation.
Right.
Imagine if you showed up and closed like 2 doc bugs. They'd be like, who are you? Hey, who's that? Right?
Yeah.
Now, extrapolate that line of reasoning out really far, and you just got yourself a job, and you didn't have to talk to a single new recruiter. Probably.
Right.
Or at least you were walked into a conversation to the recruiter by the hiring manager who got the recommendation from his engineer or her engineer.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, just thought.
No. And participate on open source project, the automation, a little bit about the gaining experience. Participate on open source projects, man, first of all, think about it. Anything that you love, right? You can find an open source project about it. And anything that you can make money off, you can find an open source project about it. Right? Anything that you're good at, you can find an open source project about it. So just combine those 3 things. Get an open source project, start working on it. You want to work for example, you want to work for Pivotal? Just go to their website and look which open source project those guys have. Another day, a friend of mine says, oh, Bruno, my biggest dream is to work for Disney. And I asked him, is this a childhood dream or is it a real dream? No, it's a real dream. Okay, so let's fix this right now. So we went to the Disney open source project. Man, I have never seen this before. But Disney has amazing open source projects. I wanted to work on those projects. Amazing. Really, really cool open source project. So we started looking at those projects like, man, those projects are cool. I said, okay, you want to work for Disney? You can. Just work on any of those projects. Just choose one. And then he said, you know what? Now that I know it's possible, I realize it's just a childhood dream. That's one of it's one of those things that a lot of times we kind of keep on those crazy dreams that we think it's impossible, and those are the things that prevent us from growing. because we don't take the steps, because we know our dreams impossible. So we instead of having real dreams, we keep hanging on those dreams. Oh, I want you to go to space. Okay, so we're gonna go to space. Come on, let's go work on an open source project that goes to space. Oh, really? I don't want to go to space anymore. Right? So we got to get rid of those things a lot of times to actually get us moving. So that's what we do here at this conversation. That's the kind of thing we do. We got to discuss what really is important for you. Because if it's really important for you, we can figure out a way to get you there. But if it's not really important for you and you think it is, maybe that's the thing that prevents you from doing the things that you need to do. Make sense? No, like you, I'm not saying that's the case, but maybe you've been for 8 years, you want to get back to Java, but you have a huge career ahead of you in database, but you want to get back to Java just because you think it's impossible. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just using it as an example. All right? So
Learning. Can we get rid of this?
Yes, learning, yes. It's all about...
What's the secret of this answer is hard, right?
Yes.
It's hard to not keep in the loop on IT, but, there are lots of jobs that you would do the same thing every day. If you want this, there are jobs good for that, but not the interesting projects, right?
Yeah, you gotta learn always. You gotta learn always. But understand that learning is not the objective. Learning is not the objective. Actually, remember that I said that you need to know how your brain works as a developer? Actually, the only thing that matters for your brain is not knowledge, it's skills. Is the only thing that matters. Right? So it doesn't matter how many things you learn. It matters how many things you know how to do. And those are always a small number. So focus on the ones, focus on the skills, and go deep. So get out of the explosion of technology. You should not be on the rat race. You should not be doing tutorials. Tutorial hell. That's terrible. Right? It just gets you to learn, but doesn't give you skills. Skills only happen when you get experience. You go to an open source project, you try that thing, go. So apply what we call just-in-time learning. What is just-in-time learning? You go do something. So when you can't do it because you don't know, you learn a little bit and go do it. We do this all the time. Come on, how many of you, when you go play a new game with your friends, you say, okay guys, I can't play the game right now. Let me study other rules. Let me study the success games. Now, once I learn all of these, I can come play with you. We don't do this. When we sit down to play, and then we do something wrong, say, no, that's not how you play or how it is. Or okay, get it. That's just-in-time learning. You can apply this for everything you do. Come on, yeah, what else? We talk about autonomy.
Write better software.
Write better software.
Write better software by writing software.
Write software.
Right? To write better software, you need to write and read software. So again, open source, it's a good place. You can read good, high quality code and learn by reading and then writing.
Right.
So.
Okay. Get back in the industry. Well, get back into the industry is define a focus, man. Define a focus. Decide when to get back.
Update your resume.
Update. Let me tell you an amazing story about a woman about getting back in the industry. You all here have been developers at some points, right? But this woman, you can search for her on the internet, called Jennifer DeWalt. Jennifer DeWalt, she was an artist, right? She did sculptures and kind of museum presentation kind of thing, right? She was an artist. So she was not in the software industry at all, right? So she decided to become a software developer. So she created a project called 180 Days of Coding. And you've heard of that, right? So for 180 days, it's 6 months. In 6 months, every day, she defined a problem, she wrote codes, she solved that problem, she published an article, right? She published, that's what Yada said before. She published, not only gaining experience, not enough, you have to talk about it. So she did this every day. In 6 months, Jennifer went from not knowing software to be hired as a software developer, and then to have a partner that create a company with her. And then she launched a second company. And her second company has been accepted into Y Combinator, the top startup accelerator in the planet. So today, Jennifer Ward is the Y Combinator founder because she did 6 months. Come on, guys, you do better. And you all developers here. I'm saying what she did is amazing. It's amazing what she did. But you're all developers here. If you go to her last project, the most sophisticated project, any one of you could have done that without even thinking. Because she was learning how to do a software, how to be a software developer. Right? And this is what happened. Because she shared, right? She became, she grew a lot faster. Okay? Alright. So what else? Find mentors. Oh, that's a good one. Find mentors. Okay, finding mentors. There's a lot of people willing to tell you things, right? A lot of people. Okay? Now, mentors that don't charge lots of money. Well, who said that mentors need to charge a lot of money? You know, you come in here on the user group. How much do you charge for the user group? No, it's not zero. You actually pay for people to come. You come here, you get dinner for free, right? You know, you get drinks, you get, come on. People pay you to mentor you, right? Now, you say, oh, but that's not enough. I want someone that comes with me on my side and teach me things for several months. Well, that's a different thing, right? If you want someone that's going to help you every step along the way, that will cost you something, right? Because he has to be interesting for them. When you want something from others, but you're not willing to put the effort, you're not willing to do something for him, you're a leech. You're not a developer. Come on. There's lots of chances for learning things for free for a lot of people. Oh, by the way, you don't want to pay lots of money? Buy a book, right? For example, you don't want to work with me, you don't want me helping you out day by day, that's okay, buy my book. It costs $2, $3, right? Is how much it costs. Is that a lot of money? No, it's not. Oh, I can't pay you $3. That's okay. Call me and I'll send you the book for free. That's okay, right?
But here there's one thing that I think is important. Doing what you did today, talking what you want. So when you go to a Java user group and we say it's for free, they're paying for you, what's the point if you come and you don't talk to people?
Right.
If you don't ask, what do you think? I have this problem. So if you need to find mentors, you will need to talk to people. And so I think it's very important to establish this connection and not start talking, but start listening. So, when you start the conversation, it's polite, to just try to see who is the other person, what they do, and what's going on, and then talking to your side and asking. But, most important, not being ashamed to talk and to ask and to say your problem and to ask for advice. So nobody will come and say, I think you should do that. You didn't give them freedom for them to tell the point. You need to open yourself and ask, and so talking.
The one thing that Yara always talked about mentors, a mentor is someone that you're going to listen to.
Even when they say what you don't want them to say.
Right.
So several times I ask, Bruno, do you think I should do that? I'm saying yes, right? Say yes to me. But then your mentor is the one that when they say something you don't agree, you would consider anyway. Right?
And that doesn't need to be a person. Right? You can buy a book. You can see a biography of someone. You can get inspired by other people. Right? You can follow someone on Twitter. Even though you don't talk with them, you see what they're doing. Right? There's an expression that says, fake it till you become it. It's not fake it till you make it. It's fake it till you become it. You want to be a great developer? See what great developers do. See what they learn. See how they work. See what they, how they speak. See what they do. And go do the same thing. And do it and do it and do it until you become. Okay? All right, I think we covered everything. Yeah, we talked about promotions. Yeah. More free time. You want to have more free time? Take responsibility for your career. Okay, no problem. Thank you. All right, so I think we talked about everything.
Sticker?
Oh yeah, stickers. Come on. Let me give you some stickers before you go. Yes, before you go. Because we have stickers from... We are here at the events. Oops. All right, so you got one of these. The Code for Life sticker. I'm going to give her one, but she's leaving. The Developers Conference sticker, and we love Hackathon stickers. Okay, all right. So guys, I'm just going to leave the stickers here so we can all get... let me just kind of end this here so we can all
The last
go.
one is from our Brazilian friend.
Okay.
Java and DevOps. I think they are so matching nowadays.
Okay, so let me tell you a quick thing. There's 5 things you need to do to be a great developer. 5 things, right? That's why Java and DevOps fit. You need to every day you need to do those things, right? Every day you need to read code, write code, deliver code. Every day, solve problems and share what you learn. You need to do those 5 things every single day. But do the same thing doesn't work, right? You need to read code you don't understand. You need to write code that you never wrote before. You need to deliver software in a way you never did, right? You need to solve problems you haven't solved before, and you need to share new things. If you do those 5 things every day, you get all the skills that you need to be a great developer. So, DevOps is part of this, is delivering code, right? Java is reading and write code. So you gotta go deeper and deeper every day. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much for all of you staying. I'm going to be available here. You know, Yara. Thank you very much. And, you know, we're going to be closing things down if there's any more questions. So, everyone that's online, thank you very much for participating. And, you know, hopefully you enjoyed. And that's it. We're gonna disconnect now. Thank you.
Thank you, Pivotal, for having us here.
Thank you, Pivotal, for having us here. Thank you, you know, all the guys from the San Francisco. Is this San Francisco, right? It's not San Francisco. So the San Francisco Java User Group, right? I said Silicon Valley in the beginning. I'm sorry about that. So thanks everyone from the San Francisco Java User Group. Okay, thank you. Let me. There's people saying online, thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.